guys, this is Proving Grounds Racing. I'm John Grounds.
I'm CJ.
We just got back from the Mint 400 in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mint 400, this right here. It's going to be the oldest race in America going on right now, off-road race.
And we're here to tell you a little bit about our experience and how our weekend went while we were out there.
It's a lot of fun. Started off right in the heart of the strip of Vegas. We went to a Flippo Bill's party, kickoff party at Hogs and Heifers.
That was pretty awesome to be able to go into the Fremont Street and park the race car up in front of, where they close all the streets off for this whole entire event.
Got the park front row, have all the fans checking out the car.
Pretty cool.
A lot of pictures.
Definitely pretty cool. The next day on Friday, we were able to go to Contingency and Tech with the car, and that was pretty wild to see the whole entire, blocks and blocks and blocks of, the main strip closed down for strictly off-road racers, from trophy trucks to Class 1 to Ultra 4 cars and even vintage cars out there. It was pretty awesome being able to go through Tech and Contingency and stop by each of our sponsors' booths. I know we stopped by PCI and picked up a few things and got to talk to Method Race Wheels and Curry Enterprise, as we were going through.
It was nice to see Jody from IMS. She's out there supporting us as we went across the start podium. Had a good conversation with the guy out there. He's telling us there's a section of the course just for us, the Proving Grounds. We had a good little conversation with him.
Yeah.
Met him again at the podium afterwards.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, after race day being able to talk to him. He even remembered the car, he remembered us, he remembered exactly what conversation we had, so it was a good weekend. It was just nice to be able to get out and do what we wanted to do and be able to take the car. A couple weeks back we were in King of Hammers. It was a pretty rough course out there, and we had a lot of issues kind of going through, and we beat up the car a bit. But in the past...
luckily we got Rock'n'Roll to send us some new shocks.
Yeah, Jeremy,
big help.
Jeremy, man, you definitely put in some work to get us some new products before race day. IMS, Jody, thank you so much for getting us the materials we needed to get the car back together and ready for this race too.
Just wanted to give a big thanks to First Place Powder Coating for a super fast turnaround time.
Yeah, Bill did an awesome job getting us all of our Poison Spider parts from KOH that we kind of thrashed.
Rear quarters destroyed.
Man, it was crazy to just see what we did 3 weeks ago to Bill's finished products a week before the race, and being able to have Xena wrap the car just before we headed out to Vegas.
Yeah, you can see pulling up on the start line was looking good.
It was definitely looking good. We had a lot of compliments on the car through Tech and Contingency. So for this race at the Mint 400, we were able to change our tire size with our BFGs. We actually went from a 37 to a 39 desert tire, the KRTs. When we did that, it was a better option for us for the desert versus the rocks with the crawlers. And we figured the larger tire would help soak up some of the desert and give us a little bit better stance. Well, let's get into kind of how our race day went.
Well, started off with first thing in the morning, 4 o'clock, getting up. Nice and cold, still dark out. Lining up, running all the way through the pits. A little bit of congestion, a little confusion.
Yeah, we weren't really sure where to stage for the race.
We were sent in a few different directions.
So because what class we ran in, they put us with the rest of the Jeep Speed vehicles, and we weren't running a Jeep Speed class, so we kind of got thrown back and forth until right before the start line. They're like, "Oh no, you guys got to be over here." And
luckily, found some last-minute repairs in the parking lot because of it.
Yeah, thanks Travis for finding that spark plug wire that was just hanging out.
That would have been tragic.
We started third off the line for our class, so it was a super good start. Not much congestion in front of us, so we got
not too much dust, so it was nice and watered down.
Yeah, we had a little bit of rain before the race day, so it definitely helped with the dust, and there was a little wind, so even when we were coming up on cars, passing them, we weren't really eating so much dust.
It was nice until we got about mile 9, I think it was, where just got into a big pack of stopped vehicles.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. We came across a few cars in front of us and wondering what was going on, and CJ noticed that there was 2 vehicles, looked like they collided. Wasn't too sure what was happening.
There was a Razor was hung up on a berm, and then a little trophy truck stuck up against them, 2-wheel drive, buried in the sand. Sitting there holding the strap, watching everybody drive by, and I'm like, man, we gotta do something.
So I'm pretty sure we're probably one of the very few of the 4-wheel drive vehicles out there, so I told CJ, look, we're going to pull these guys out, and they'll be able to pull the Razor out afterwards. So we came up quick on him, and CJ's pointing to the front bumper, hey, put the strap on, and
Pull him out. Hook it. Hey!
so I don't know the number on the car. It was kind of quick, and I know our GoPro footage wasn't able to see what the number was, but I'm sure they were pretty stoked that we pulled up and gave him a hand.
It didn't slow us down too much. We gave him a little tug, kept right on going.
Yeah, we got passed by pretty much, I would say, most of our class, but we did pretty good on catching back up with them, and you know, we
saw a lot of the past us just pulled off.
Yeah,
the next couple miles ahead, broken down already.
The course was rough. There was a lot of flat tires. There were a lot of spare parts on the road.
Spare tires everywhere, tool bags.
Yeah, so it was a pretty gnarly course, and as we were going, that was pretty much all we saw until we hit pit 1.
Pit 1 was pretty quick. We just pulled in a few checks. We didn't have too many problems right off the bat.
John and Sean had the chase truck there, and we were able to check all the air pressures in the tires, do a nut and bolt on everything just to make sure everything looked good. And they topped off the fuel just because we weren't too sure with how much we were using. And this is the longest lapped race that we've ran, so we weren't sure we were going to run out or not.
Yeah, just give it a splash.
Got about 5 to 10 miles out, and noticed in some of the harder, rougher whoop area, we kind of had some steering issues where it got a little bit rougher to steer.
Yeah, I jumped out. We pulled over off the course. I jumped out and checked it out, and we had a loose power steering line just spraying fluid everywhere. Not a big deal. Just the fitting came loose. We grabbed the tool bag and tightened it up and got moving.
We were off. Yeah, it was actually pretty nice.
Mile 40, I believe.
It was around mile 40. I know Justin from Rock Crawler
was wondering what was going on.
Texted us. I didn't get the text until after the race, but he texted us and said, "You guys need to get off mile 40 and keep moving." So it was pretty cool. Just a shout out to everyone that was following along and watching. Thanks, you guys for tuning in. We saw a couple posts throughout once we finished the race of everyone kind of checking in where we were and how we were doing. So super cool to see our fans, interacting with the race.
Yeah, it's great to see everybody following along.
So we cruised all the way to pit 2 or pit B with Aaron Lang.
Yep.
He was there to just kind of give a once over on the car. We didn't have to fuel there, but he checked all the tire pressures and retightened the power steering just to make sure that didn't come loose. Mm-hmm. And we were off.
Yeah, we were moving.
We got
came around the backside, hit the lake bed. We were cruising.
Making
some good speed.
There is we topped off, I think, just a shy hair under
98.5 miles an hour.
Just under 100 miles an hour, and we were trying. We were booking it, man.
Yeah, we ran out of space. We're not a real state.
So it was pretty cool to see the car was running great. Each lap was 115 miles, so we're at mile 80 or 90, and we were still booking it. Car felt great.
Yeah. Came into the short course the second time. A little confused about the signs. Short course for you guys who don't realize is not on the GPS at all, so it's kind of a free for all.
So it was we were just calling out number turns, 3 right, 2 left, and it was definitely a driver co-driver interaction spot for sure.
Made our way back into the main pit. A little short-handed. I had to jump out to help it with the fueling. It was kind of a self pit there, but did all right.
It was pretty awesome seeing Travis in a fire suit and CJ hop out to help Travis fuel the car. And big thanks to Jody and Bobby from IMS.
Yeah, they're supporting us.
Lend a hand in helping fuel the car and just check over things. You guys were a big help in our pit, even though we were short-handed.
So finally out of the first pits, we're on to the second lap. We have a better idea of where we're going, what to expect. We picked up speed a little bit. Started passing a bunch of trucks, stopped on the side, razors everywhere, left and right.
Yeah, there was a lot of flat tires through the second lap and a lot of broken down vehicles just scattered across the course.
Yeah, every few miles you see someone missing a tire, just kind of pulled off, staring at it, not knowing what to do.
There was one point where we ran over a full tire and rim and
yeah,
a hub.
Yeah, should be on video actually.
There was a camera guy there, and I don't know if he strategically placed it in the course.
I think he put it there. There's no broken down vehicles anyway.
Yeah. Oh, but
For
man,
sure
that
pulled out of
was
his truck.
that was pretty crazy just to hit that sucker going about 50 miles an hour.
Yeah. So about halfway to the first pits, I started to notice something rattling the front, something on the firewall kind of beating back at me. So we pulled in the first pit, asked them to check it out. Of course, the battery box was broken. The battery's kind of hanging down. So we had
Sean and John actually went and grabbed a ratchet strap, some zip ties, and some bubble gum, and
pretty sure it was 18 zip ties, a ratchet strap, some duct tape.
it
a
was
little luck.
It was a lot of luck and a little bit of ingenuity. So after the first pit, we fixed the battery box and we were out of there. We were on our way to pit 2, which is mile 75, and
Yeah, we were holding some speed. Came around a corner up to that Fox section. We noticed the trail was blocked off.
yeah, I didn't really know what was going on. We slowed down and saw some of the Best in the Desert staff out there kind of, flagging everyone to slow down and stop.
Cones everywhere. There's medical. They actually gave us a detour, sent us off track. We noticed there's a buggy upside down. People still in it. Not sure how that went.
Yeah, not sure exactly what's going on. Hopefully, those racers and the teams are all right.
So we're cruising right along back on course. We come into the second pit with Aaron and his Fleetworks crew. He gave us a little once over, tightened a few things that starting to work themselves loose. Just a little bit of prep, sent us on our way.
Yeah, we got about maybe 10, 15 miles out of pit 2, and we noticed that the training temperatures were spiking up, but the motor temperature, the coolant temperature was staying a constant 180, 185, so we weren't too sure what was going on.
I mean, we were cruising right along. We weren't pushing it too hard, so, no reason for it.
Yeah, so I mentioned to CJ, I said, can you feel the transmission cooler fan, which is kind of behind us on the firewall at the top, can you feel any hot air coming through it? So he kind of stuck his hand back there, and he said it's hot.
Reaching back. I mean, it was warm, but it wasn't blowing hot air, so I just started beating on the fan a little bit, got to come back on. So started to cool off a little bit. It was working for about 5 or 10 minutes maybe, and cut off again.
So we kind of knew that if we kept hitting the fan and pushing on the motor, we would get some action out of it, if not a little bit of speed, full speed. So for probably a good 20 miles.
Yeah, so reaching back, smacking the fan and jamming my finger into the roll bar to hold it, trying to watch the course, trying to make sure I'm not doing that over whoops, lose a finger. So kind of just doing my best to keep beating on the fan and keeping it running while he's driving.
We were lucky enough that the last few sections of the race past that pit were open lake bed areas and a power line area, which was a pretty smooth straight road.
And it dropped down like 20 degrees in that section.
And the
hold us over.
20 degrees we needed to get us to the finish line.
Yeah.
We got into the short course section right before the finish line, and we figured, with the temperatures we were running, we were able to just kind of keep going and make it work.
Just hammer down.
And we crossed the finish line just past noon, I believe.
Horn blaring.
Horn blaring through the finish line. We got the checkered flag. We were pretty stoked. It was a pretty good feeling to know that for our first Mint 400, we were able to come out on top with all the prep work we did to the car and just getting it ready from our last race.
And I'd say surprisingly, I mean, aside from the little bit of dirt you see here, I mean, we're in one piece in pretty good shape compared to some of the other vehicles in that line.
Yeah, we
There's
passed
a lot of parts hanging off.
We passed a lot of fiberglass body panels on the course.
There's a lot of stuff missing in that line.
So we're pretty fortunate to keep the car together as well as we did, and do exactly what we wanted to do, and that was to finish and finish on top. It looks like after today's results, we got an official 4th place for our class. A pretty cool experience happened to us once we crossed the finish line.
Yeah, we're sitting there waiting to cross the stage, and we got a visit
from Rod Hall. Many of you guys know him, legend in the off-roading community and racing.
Came over to give us a little congratulations, a little words of wisdom.
Yeah, it was pretty cool being, a small team and being able to have, people like him approach us and just give us, encouraging words and a speech of just, you guys did great for being out here and, keeping the car together.
He said to finish first, you must first finish. Great words of wisdom.
Totally, and that's exactly what we did this race, and it's huge. It means a lot for us to be able to cross the finish line
He
And
told us when he started out, he didn't go as hard as he could. He took his time. He figured out the course. Then he worked his way up to a finish until he was on the podium. He said that's what we did. He said we figured it out.
Yep.
We're on our way.
So this is the second finish for us. Second finish in top 5 for the 3 races that we've had. So we're doing good. We're doing really
Figured
good.
it out.
We're figuring it out. Shortly after we finished and Rod Hall approached us, we were able to go up onto the finisher stage where we were greeted by the announcer who
So a new friend over here remembered us from Tech, yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. When CJ and I went through Tech the day before, he congratulated us on just making it to the Min 400 with a beautiful car, and it's not something that we normally see here. So
He made a little joke about us having something to prove in the proving grounds.
And when we came up to the stage, he was clapping and laughing, saying, "Man, I really got to take back the joke I said about your proving grounds because you guys did it. You're here and you finished."
And he said if he was going to continue the joke from yesterday, that we actually had something to prove, and we did it.
Yep. Yeah, so it was cool that he remembered us out of the 350 teams that were out there. So
Yeah.
it's a good feeling knowing that we're getting recognized with a pretty tricked out car and something that stands out differently than some of the other buggies and trophy trucks out there.
Like I said, it looked good even on the finish.
That's it. A big congratulations and thank you to all of the team members that were there for this past weekend, helping in the pits. Helping with just getting the car ready, everyone who lent a hand, all of our sponsors. We can't do it without you guys.
Yeah, a lot of big help. I know this race was a little bit tough to get to. It was a lot of fun, but the help we did have was very valuable.
It looks like our next race is going to be Glen Helen. And Glen Helen's a short course race, so we got a little bit to do on the car. We're going
Changes to make.
lower the car down. We're going to make it a little bit tighter, change the tire sizes down some, and so I just want to say thanks again. Guys, check back with us on our next video. Hopefully we'll give you a recap or maybe a prelude to what's going to come up for our next adventures.
This is Proving Grounds Racing signing off.
See you later, guys.
Damn, you hit it too late.
Waited for it.
Okay.
It's going.
Who the fuck is coughing?
What the fuck did we get ice cream?
We had pizza? No one understands any of this.
None of it.
It's only funny to us. That's right. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, Justin gets it.
No, he doesn't.
You're right. He doesn't get a lot of things.
Sayonara!